I've had animals all of my life. I won't talk about how long that is. A lady doesn't discuss that kind of information, and even if she does, she is rarely honest about it. And, although I can't claim to be a lady, I do possess certain delicate sensibilities, and as soon as I figure out what they are, I'll let you know. My original point is that I have had many four-legged friends and should have a fairly good idea of what their intentions might be. After all, it didn't take any of them long to get me trained, and I've developed at least a working knowledge of their nefarious teaching methods. Eddie, my brother's last dog, was an alien dropped here by another civilization with an odd sense of humor. Not only could Eddie catch flying rabbits in a single bound, but he could open most doors with his paws. His most annoying habit was his ability to disappear for hours without a trace. Eddie liked his freedom. We would think he had to be somewhere in the house, but a perusal of the premises revealed no white dog with black spots, and that is one thing about himself that he couldn't change. Next, our search would expand to the neighborhood. The police would get a call, and before you know it, anyone in our town with a police scanner would be on the lookout for our miscreant beasts. It felt like our missing pet would be lost forever. We were afraid he might have been run over. Maybe he had gotten in someone's car and been stolen. Everyone's heart would tremble, and our eyes would begin to water at the thought of a future without the little jerk. Suddenly, Eddie would stroll into the living room, yawning his amusement.
"Hey, man, you were looking for me?" "Well, I've been in your closet with your office supplies all afternoon taking a well-deserved nap." "What the heck were you all yelling about? You almost woke me up a couple times."
Eddie was a piker when it came to sudden and prolonged disappearances, as you will soon see. A few years ago, I sort of adopted a cat I named CJ. The first order of business for her was having her kitten making equipment shut down. I made an appointment with our vet, and CJ took matters into her own paws. If we could have told CJ about the discomfort of having kittens, she may have been more cooperative. However, my own theory is that she realized what we had in mind for her and decided to get going while the getting was possible. Since she had been gone for a day and a half and GD alone knows what she ate or drank in her wanderings, I had to call the vet to postpone her procedure. We finally caught her, confined her, and were able to subject her to what had to be done. While he was at it, the vet gave her various vaccines, flea treatments, and a round-trip ticket to Europe. Well, I'm basing that last on the bill I paid after her visit. She stayed in my room for 10 days. During that time, she slept on my bed and eventually recovered from her trauma. I gave her some catnip to reward her for an ordeal well suffered. She got high as a kite, slipped away, and never came back. I put an ad in the paper. One day, I got a call from one of our neighbors. They had found CJ, who had taken up residence in their garage. Their garage was only 2 doors away, so it wasn't like she couldn't have made her way back if she had so desired. She didn't so desire. In fact, she had taken up with my neighbor's daughters, who very much wanted to keep her. Their mother told me how CJ would be in a tree and scamper over to meet the girls when they came home from school. So I kissed her goodbye when they brought her over to hiss at me, and I guess I know where I stand with the newly named Tipsy Gypsy. No, the tipsy part of her name had nothing to do with the celebratory catnip party I threw for her. It should have, but it was the white tip on her tail that inspired the rebaptism.